Hi, my name is Robin McCracken. I work for RV1 Superstores, and today I'm going to discuss one of the best values out there, and that's the Entegra coach, all new Entegra coach Aspire. One of the things that's going to really stand out on you is the immense size of this windshield. It is gigantic, larger than any other manufacturer I know of, and you'll also notice that it has a curve to it. It's a lot harder to do that because when you do a glass curve, there's distortion, all right? And this one with the Turkish glass, and they spend a lot of money on the way they do this, is they eliminate that distortion. So that's what that's gonna mean to you is when I look out this side mirror, all right, I'm not gonna see any distortion from the vehicle or whatever. I have a clear, crisp view of it. The size of the windshield wipers are gigantic, all right, much bigger than anything I've ever seen. And so it takes a wipe and it's going to get a good percentage on lousy weather. You have a slide room for the generator that will come out. This is running a 10,000 kW Onan generator, more than enough power to help anything that's in this coach because you have triple air conditioners, heat pumps, hydronic diesel fired systems, and it's all electric, so I don't have to deal with any propane. So when I walk around, you also notice with this new front end, I mean, it lights up like a Christmas tree. So this is highlighted, all the lights are highlighted. You got the orange lights up top. I mean, this will be lit, everything. So the visibility is just over the top, amazing. All right, when I walk around here and I get to this front door, all right, what I want to tell customers is these doors, there's nothing special about them. Okay, but this is where Entegra carries it to the next level, and you're going to notice that with a lot, with my walk around on this coach, to show that they carry it to the next level of what should be done, not necessarily what's the cheapest to be done. So these doors are standard doors, but I have a double hinge instead of a triple hinge, so I can have that recessed in, better airflow, better aerodynamics. But what happens is that when this coach is closed, ready to go forward, and I'm gonna have you look at this, Ryan, right here. I got this little gizmo here, and the minute I put it in gear, there's a little channel here that kicks in and sucks this door in from wind noise. All right, so no matter how much I slam this coach on a typical coach, I'm not gonna get rid of the wind noise on the very top. Entegra, they actually have the motor, the air pressure of this coach, suck this door in to make it airtight. The other feature that they do to keep this door from air noise is their fairing around here. So any weak point is going to have a nice air scoop here to keep any wind noise from coming. So what that's just going to mean to you is the quietest coach on the market. Your wife's not going to sit there and complain because she's hearing a wind noise coming through the front door. Not possible in an Entegra coach. So that's a really, really nice feature. Sickens paint. I make a big deal about the paint, but what people don't realize with all these fancy colors and the black paint, black will expand and contract the fiberglass, and if the paint doesn't expand and contract, and you can notice that with a lot of used brands later, or 5, 6, 7 years old, you'll notice spider webs developing all through here. Okay, it's not a defect, it's a cheap paint job. When I take a car paint and put it on a motorhome, which is fiberglass, and that fiberglass expands and contracts and the paint doesn't, that's what happens. So these guys, Sickens is a Dutch paint. It's considered for boats. 4 times more expensive, but it's superior paint job. So what that's gonna mean for you is 10 years from now, that paint job is still perfect. All right, I'm not gonna have defects. I'm not gonna have checkpoints, spider webs, whatever, in my paint job. The paint's always gonna look perfect. And that's a nice, nice, nice feature. The construction of this coach, second to none. Nobody's building a coach like this. All right, part of the reason why this coach is so quiet, it has double the R factor of anybody in the industry. You build a coach with very thick sidewalls, you're gonna be quieter, hence quieter inside when you're going down a highway. 2x3 tubular aluminum, not just one bias, thrown all over the place. 2x3 tubular aluminum, studded every 16 on center. The windows are all framed. The windows are all framed. All right, so I'm building this like a construction of a house, except I'm using 2x3 aluminum. They carry the finish to the extreme on their slides. All right, this slide is going in and out, but when it goes in, this is how it's going to look. A typical slide, they have 2-3 inches of play in them. So you're going to have a 4-inch frame all the way around it. And basically it waffles the coach, okay? So because there's an error factor, it never goes in right. You'll have this beautiful paint job with a frame around there, and you'll notice the slide's really not fitting. When this coach comes in, the slide looks gorgeous. You have to look at it twice to even make sure it is a slide. So it's a superior set. I have electric motors. Hydraulics are nice until they don't work, all right? This one right here, the electric motor, 4 bolts. I can remove it. It's underneath that bay right there. If you look straight up, you remove it. 10 minutes later, you put in another one, you're in operation. It's very simple. All 4 slides are the same thing. It's designed for you to troubleshoot yourself, basically. So it's a nice feature. I have a 150-gallon fuel tank. I can fill it from either side. But the big thing right here is this is the Spartan K2 chassis. Okay, one of the biggest chassis in the business. This is a huge 17,000 front end. All right, so Spartan, fire truck motor, 2 million miles of testing. There's other chassis out there, and I can't believe that this actually competes with a homemade chassis out there. All right, this is designed for a commercial application, 2 million miles, and it just happens to be for a motorhome that might go, what, 5,000, 10,000 miles a year? This thing's designed to do 100 times that easily. And so it's extremely overbuilt, and that just means positive for you. I have integrated awnings, and they do a nice cap, and it looks very professional, very high end. That awning will come out 10 feet. It's got a 45-degree pitch to it, and it has a sensor in it for wind. It's set up, I believe, 17, 18 miles an hour, whatever. But what happens is that sensor is now tied into the arm of the awning. In the old days, they had a little twirly bird. Everybody hit a branch, and they didn't realize that the sensor wouldn't work, and that it was damaged, all that stuff. This thing is actually tied into the arm of the awning, so that that arm starts taking off, it'll tweak right back in all by itself. So that's a really nice feature. I have window awnings all around, dual pane awnings, dual pane windows. They're all tinted, limo tint. What's a nice feature is now this is a storage bay. It used to be where the batteries were. These doors are solid, they're all aluminum, they're not cardboard, fiberglass, and they close like they should close, like a car door. I have standard now, a slide-out trailer that works both ways. It'll take 1,000 pounds, so it's real nice. Part of the coach, and the reason why this coach is so quiet, is because they do everything possible to make it quiet. And one of those is to keep this coach from twisting. And this is the best way to do it. They put X framing throughout the entire coach, and that ties into the chassis. They put X framing in between the rails that ties into the chassis. Outside entertainment center, and then this is a neat feature. It actually pulls out. You get the sun in the way, you're watching the ball game, so it's nice to be able to maneuver this any way you want. And it tucks away nice and clean. It even kind of a lid, so if it's raining, it's going to protect the TV. So that's a neat feature. I have my engine batteries, okay, and those are typical for the motor. I have my cutoffs, my filters, everything I need for the computer for the motor. This rear cap is a really neat feature. Notice how it lights up, they know you're coming. So new as well is a nice feature, because I'm a pretty big guy and I have sometimes a hard time opening that rear door. This is nice. So if I have to get to the motor somehow, I just push a button. And so with a side radiator versus a rear radiator also is at $150 an hour that these guys are charging. They can get to everything here, and they don't have to track in hoses through the bedroom and make mom very upset. So this is a nice feature. It's all readily available. A big thing that you're going to notice is these reserve tanks right here and here are metal. Most of them are plastic. I don't understand it, but this one's metal, and that's typical on Spartan, is the overbuild things. I got a 15,000 pound hitch, more than enough to pull anything I can imagine. And then new, which is nice, is this little gizmo right here. All right, that's an air system. So if you're one of these that runs air brakes for your towed vehicle, so it's a nice feature. And then of course they give you the typical 7-point and the 4-point. So there's no modification you need to do to hook up. You got the rear camera, spoiler systems. If you see one with a rear radiator and this one has a side radiator, it might not mean much to you. But here's the big thing. Not only on maintenance at $150 an hour, I can get to this easier than a rear radiator, which means I have to access through the bedroom. What it means here is 20% better airflow. All right, I'm going up a mountain. It doesn't matter what I do to this thing, I'm not going to overheat it. The computer's going to kick over. It's going to make this coach dummy proof. I'm not going to be like the old days on the side of the road, overheated and fluid all over the place. This coach will not allow that to happen. But if I have 20% better airflow and I'm going up the Shenandoahs, I'm going up Colorado, whatever, I will be less likely to have this coach derate. Its horsepower derate is torque to keep it from overheating than I would a rear radiator. This is the def I told you about. All right, I can fill it from either side. It doesn't matter how I pull in. I can fill my def, I can fill my fuel, 150 gallons from either side, and my def from either side. Now the way this thing and the way Spartan sets it up for the tag is when I put it in reverse, that's 90% of the reason why you would scuff the tire. This tire will actually lift up automatically. So when I put it in reverse, you'll hear a big bleed of air, and that's natural. And what it's doing is taking all the air pressure out of here, loosening it up, lifting it up to where I can maneuver going in reverse and not scuff my tire. So it's a neat feature. The only coach I know that runs a macerator system is this brand, and it's the best system in the business. A lot of people in the years ago would complain about their macerator took forever. I mean, it takes forever to dump anything. All right, this is what I would call a commercial version of a macerator. It's cleaner. I don't have a 3-inch pipe that I have to worry about this bridge and gravity and you know, carry it out, and it only comes out X amount of feet. This thing is so powerful. I'll open this up a little bit and you'll see what I'm talking about. This right there. What you got is a commercial version of a macerator, because that's the biggest one I've ever seen. This thing will actually spray 20 feet. So it doesn't matter whether I'm uphill, I'm downhill, my dump is up here. I'm gonna unload 20 feet. All right, you don't like your neighbor, you unscrew this and you can spray him too. But it's just a very precise, clean. You'll notice I don't need to wear rubber gloves because there's nothing I'm hooking up. It's already pre-hooked. But it doesn't matter uphill, downhill. And this system right here is probably the best utility system I've seen. So you got your soap dispenser, you got your paper towel roll, your water hoses on a reel, your filters, you got gray flushes, black flushes, water filters, hot and cold running water. It's a nice little feature. What I love is the fact that these are electric cords. I just pull it out, but I really like the fact that I don't have this mouse hole that I gotta feed it through. When I'm done, I just do that, slam it, and I'm watertight. I don't have to sit there and fish this thing through some kind of cord. I have my hydronic diesel-fired furnace. Best system in the business. AquaHot is very high end. It's 90% more efficient than an LP system, but I'm basically a lot healthier, and I'm running hot water as opposed to forced air. So that's a real nice feature. A couple nice features on the inside of this coach. Okay, one is all my systems are right here. All right, this is solar panels, high definition satellite systems, awnings, inverters, slide out rooms, power system, and automatic generator start if I want that, but the generator. Very clean, very too, I don't have to go to different parts of the coach to get to my important systems. Seats, very important, and I can't believe how many do this, but according to the Department of Transportation, there's X amount of PSI that you need to do to make it safe to go down the highway. I see a lot of seat belts tied into the side of the coach. What that's telling me is this coach, this front seat right here, is actually bolted into a piece of plywood. When you see it integrated into the seat, that means it's bolted into the chassis, welded into the chassis. Much heavier, much nicer. Plus, it allows me to turn both of these so I can now have a nice living room atmosphere and have drinks or whatever I'm going to do. And I have a recliner here and I have a full recliner here. So this is going to be a full recliner. A couple years ago they didn't allow that. Now this has a full recliner, so that's really nice. The new keys right now, there's no old-fashioned key anymore. Everything's electronic, so I can lock the coach or do whatever I want by pushing a button, so it's a really nice feature. Side cameras, backup cameras. I got navigation system. Everything in this right here, I can lift up to right here. So that's nice. Somebody wants to know what's going on, where you're at, I can actually take it, program it up here, and the entire audience that you're with can actually see where you're at. So that's a nice little feature. My dash, very clean to the point. And then instead of reaching in here, see, like I have to reach in a lot of stuff, push a button to see what my systems are, I'm going to reach right here because this will do the same thing. Much safer setup. All right, like I said before, this is all electric coach. Okay, so I don't have to deal with LP at all. All right, so it has hydronic diesel-fired furnaces, 90% more efficient than the typical LP furnace. I have triple air conditioner heat pumps, they're 15,000. This new intake system makes the air conditioning about 50% quieter than any other time out there. So it's a very nice, quiet, residential type feel. But the floor and the insulation is the big deal about Entegra coach. Okay, so what you've got here is, I already said the sidewalls are double the thickness of everybody else in the industry. The roof is double the thickness of everybody else in the industry. But what people don't realize is 80% of the noise comes through the floor. All right, typical floor is an R6, and most manufacturers don't pay attention to it. What Entegra does is they actually build this floor up with 2x4s. All right, so now I'm taking an R factor 6 somewhere in there, and I'm making it an R factor 33. All right, so if 80% of my noise comes through the floor, which is transmissions, road noise, bad roads, and so on, and I'm making it 4 times quieter, that will help explain why this is one of the quietest coaches on the market. All right, so what they do is they take this 2x4. So what it basically works is you got the vibration of the chassis doing this, and then I have my floating deck on top. And that's where the tile is. All right, so while the chassis is going to town, the tile is nice and smooth. And what that's just going to mean to you is going down the road here, years later, I'm not going to have a lot of chips. I'm not going to have a lot of crack in the tile because there's really no stress in it. So it makes it very nice. And then, of course, the side benefit is I have amazing insulation. All right, so unlike typical manufacturer that takes a big, huge sheet, lays the tile down first, and then they take a crane and lay it into the coach, and then the inner walls and the cabinetry is all kind of just put on top of the tile. Problem is that it doesn't take much to get squeaking. Doesn't take much to get rattling. All right, so what I have here is this coach is laid like a house. It's not as cost efficient, but it's the right way to do it. So when I'm laying this coach, I am already finished with the inner walls. I'm already finished with the cabinetry. So they are mounted right on wood. So I got wood to wood as opposed to wood to tile. And so this is all cut around the cabinetry. This is all cut in between the interior walls. So worst case, I do break this tile, I can just punch this up. All right, so the other feature that they do standard is they run heated tile floors. All right, because I already told you it's going to be a 2x4 built-up floor, giving you an R factor of 33, they actually are capable of running a continuous line of tubes of hot water through the entire length of the coach to heat the tile floor. Much more efficient, much more quieter. The problem I have with the 110 systems, which you see on every other coach out there, is you need a generator or you need to be plugged in order for it to work. All right, and then God forbid if you break a tile and you pull that tile up to repair, you basically ruin the grid. And that's a lot of money to ruin. So this coach right here, it won't matter. It's a continuous line, one way in, one way out, no breaks, no joints anywhere, and it's coiled all the way through the entire length of the coach. And it has, so you have triple air conditioners, heat pumps, you have hydronic diesel fired furnaces, and then you have heated tile floors, which is a really nice feature. The cabinetry, 70% Amish. They are known for their cabinetry. This is not some vinyl wrap or something, so it's a very high quality. If you open this up, I mean, it's solid. I can move this right here, and you have this massive kitchen area. So it's neat. You got a nice little shelf. I don't have Corian, I have stainless steel. So that's a nice little feature, much cleaner, but tons of cabinetry, tons of storage, dishwasher, drawers, tons of storage. I'm running central vac. I'm also running low voltage lighting. I can do anything I want and it's 100% dimmers. So that's a nice feature. The doors are solid. They're not balsa wood or core. And then what I'll have you do, Ryan, is go look at the control panel here. Like I said, this coach doesn't have any fuses for the coach. It's all breakers. So there's my computer control center. So I have a problem. You'll see a red light show up. Right now, if you faintly look at the very right side, you'll see they're all green. The red light, you look at what number that is, you push a button and you're done. You just rewired the entire coach. Very clean, very efficient. It's a nice feature. The doors, again, are like a work of art. You'll also notice that they're residential style. They're pretty much all the way to the floor. The issue I have with some coaches is they're like a foot. I mean, a dog can crawl underneath the door. And the reason why they do that is because the coach is flexing. And they're worried about those doors locking in. And this coach, because flexing is an absolute minimum, I can hang more of a residential style door right here. This model has huge amperage. I mean, it's just gigantic. Pantry. All models will have a pantry. And then if you slip in here, I got my little secret compartment. Safe is standard. I have high definition satellite systems. The new Traveler, I'll put the remote there. This coach will require two, one for the front system and this one, one for this one, and it also works the outside TV. So that's a nice feature. I got a king size bed, and it's a real king size bed, not an RV bed. And then one of the few systems or coaches I've been in where it allows a ceiling fan. I don't know what the issue is, but Entegra puts ceiling fans, and it's amazing how so few coaches even allow a ceiling fan. So when I walk back here, again, they put a lot of effort into quiet. When I'm going down the highway, it'll tend to do this. Just like the front door I was talking about, where it has an air actuator that pulls that front door in the minute I put it in gear, there's a little hockey puck type of thing that will lift this door up and keep it from rattling. All right, so it works the front door and it works all your pocket doors. It's a very efficient, very nice, clean. The side benefit is if I forget and leave it like this and I go down the highway, it will lift up and lock into place. I don't have to worry about coming down here at 60 miles an hour trying to put this thing back into gear. Now, as far as the back bathroom, what I like about it a lot is I don't have to duck. I'm 6'4". I don't have to duck on these things. So many times I'm in the bathroom and I got to drop down a little bit. On an Entegra coach, I got plenty of height. So what that's going to mean to you is bigger cabinets, bigger windows, bigger shower. And this one is a nice shower. It's to the floor. These guys build it more residential. The drain's all the way to the ground. And so I don't have this 1 foot that I got to jump on. And so, and it's a big, decent sized door. I got a stack washer and dryer, and it's a residential washer and dryer, which is nice. And then this is running a macerator commode. I know it doesn't sound like much, but a lot of these bath and halves, which seems to be a lot of what we sell now, okay, they'll run 2 tanks, 2 dump tanks. It's ridiculous. So this is running 1 tank, and it's running it to the center of the coach. So the other one's a gravity, and this one's a macerator, and I only need 1 hose. So that's nice. My name's Robin McCracken. I enjoyed our time together learning about the all-new Entegra Coach Aspire. You can reach us at rv1.com on the net or give us a call anytime to learn more about this wonderful coach. Thank you.